Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the lounge. How's everybody doing? Obviously, you can see from the title of this video, we're going to talk about that Kendrick Lamar GNX album. Let me make sure I said that correctly. Yeah, GNX. Yeah, let's get into it. Actually, before I get into it, I just want to say the newest shorts that I did got a lot of views as far as on my channel, so I want to thank everybody for the support. Let's keep the support going. Let's keep this train going. So GNX, what do I think? Solid album. Very solid album. And the reason why this might surprise people that know me outside of the YouTube space, because during the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, I was more leaning towards Drake and things like that, and I wasn't a fan of Not Like Us for layers of reasons. So when actually shout out to Anton Daniels, because he was talking about the Jaguar commercial situation and he was talking about the album cover. So the album cover has a GNX Buick. So, like giving a little content before we get into it. That was a high-end Buick. And if anybody knows a little bit of the low rider culture, California, things like that, Buicks is one of the cars that's used for low riding and things like that, part of the California culture. So obviously Kendrick being from Compton, of course it makes sense. So I found out he had a new album. So I said, you know what? Let me take a listen to it. And let me actually be fair and balanced on the album. So I listened to the album from start to finish, right? So obviously what also brought attention, but I didn't realize it was an album at the time, was everybody on social media is like, oh, Kendrick this Lil Wayne, blah, blah, blah. Somebody said made a casket for two, all this crazy stuff. But I was like, let me just take a listen. So obviously for people that want to know the track that it was, because I had to make sure I had the track list here, because I want to be able to break down certain things in certain situations. So the name of the track was actually the first track on the album where he dissed Lil Wayne, called Whacked Out Murals. And I took a listen to it. I didn't really feel it was a diss track or anything else like that. It seemed more like he was talking about the Super Bowl situation and a little bit of his feelings behind it. That's what I kind of took it as. But it was a solid song. It was, if you want to call it a diss track, as far as diss tracks go, it was mid. But I don't think that was the purpose of it. I really think it was meant to just talk about a situation, because it's kind of like nowadays, just people in general, because you have YouTube-based content creators. There's certain things that go on in real life that people cannot address the same. So they use different avenues to address that situation. So as Kendrick being a rapper, his way of talking about the situation is through his raps. Fair enough. Now, there was a few songs that the cadence and everything reminded me of Not Like Us, like Squabbled Up, TV Off. Yeah, because I'm going through the track, so that's why if I'm not. But yeah, let me see if anything else. But I also noticed one of the songs that had in common, aside of Squabbled Up, because I kind of thought Squabbled Up was And then Hey Now had a little bit of that. But as crazy as it sounds, two of those three songs that sounded like not like us as far as the cadence, the flow, they were produced by Mustard. And my opinion about Mustard and Kendrick Lamar, I don't think they're a good match. And that's more my personal opinion. I mean, people could say different. Because I really looked at this album and then looked at the tracks when him and Drake was going back and forth. This album showed that he's a good rapper. He makes good albums. Why could I not get what's on this album as far as the diss tracks? And see, when I was talking about it to a few people, because I said that whole battle to me was kind of like, it wasn't really hip hop to me. Like, they didn't stick to the bars and all that. They used colorism. They did the not like us thing. And I broke down to somebody, you take out a couple of words, that not like us can apply to a lot of people that have mixed backgrounds and everything else like that. So that's why I wasn't necessarily a fan of the song per se. I know people gonna say different in the comments, and the K-Dot fans is gonna come out all crazy, but that's not my purpose. Is not really to talk about this beef. I just want to say how solid this album was. Like, so for an example, like the track that I gravitated to was like Man at the Garden. That was very solid. Let me see. Also, GNX itself, that's also known. We call it, 90s hip hop heads, we call it Posse Cut. That was a good Posse Cut. And the two songs he had SZA on, I want to make sure, yeah, he had SZA on, was very solid. I did like the Luther, and I also did like the Gloria. That was kind of dope. And then the Heart Part 6, they used the SWV Neptune's kind of inspiration there, which I kind of thought that was dope, like all around. But I just want to show that, this is how I want you to address your beefs from now on, K-Dot. If somebody's in your camp and this video gets back to you somehow, some way, these songs, this right here, that's how you address the beef. And just to show you, because my favorite song on the album, and this goes back to, if you watch a couple of my other videos, things like that, or people that know me, huge Pac fan, right? Because remember, I talked about it with my review, with the book, with Kim Porter. Whether it's true or not, that's a whole nother thing. But I addressed that in the Kim Porter. So, Reincarnated, when he sampled that Main Niggas, that song was so solid. Like, I just gravitated back to that. And might have been a little biased because of the Tupac situation, like just being a fan of Tupac and him using that song. Because that was like a B-side song. Well, I wouldn't say it's a B-side song. It was actually a soundtrack song for Gang Related, one of the final movies he did before he died. But I really enjoyed that song. Because there were songs I really enjoyed on this album, and I'm just like, how come I did not get this stuff during the battle? And I think that's what a lot of real hip-hop heads were disappointed about, right? Is because this is the Kendrick Lamar we were looking for, right? So, and what I also found interesting with this particular album is it's not doing the numbers like a Not Like Us, right? So people can chalk it up. I had a few people that had a few different takes on it, but I didn't like it. I didn't like that the numbers, because from what I last checked, because I went on YouTube, and that's not even Spotify numbers, because I don't have Spotify and all that, but just based off of YouTube alone, excuse me, he had 33 million for Not Like Us. And I think this album, right, combined, I don't even think came close to those numbers. And, for everybody who liked Not Like Us track, they should have all been on this album. This feels like Good Kid, Mad City kind of vibes. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt. Like, not for nothing, this probably gonna get some play in the car as I'm driving to work or just driving wherever. Like this, because there's some solid tracks on it, and even stuff I'm going through outside of my life, it's kind of relatable right now. So this probably gonna get some serious play in the car. Like maybe just listening to it, walking in the street, etc., etc. But when I was talking to one of my people, like he makes music too and things like that, and I was saying that this album's not getting the numbers that it deserves. And he said, yeah, because, he said the songs are not able to do TikTok dances. And I asked him, because, I'm a little bit older, so I had to ask, like, what do you mean by that? And, because nowadays TikTok is based off of baby footages, internet challenges, and dances. And he was saying how this new Kendrick Lamar album, there's not a lot of stuff that's you're able to use in TikTok as far as like the dance challenges, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I still find that disappointing. I do. Because I'm missing out on a gem right now. Like, this is a real solid album. And like I said, my take on the whole thing was, because I just wanted to give a few minutes of my thoughts on this, because like I said, that was how I discovered there was a new album. And when I said I'm going to be fair about it, it was a good album. It was a really, really good album. I really felt, like I said before, from now on, when you in the beef, I need you to rap like GNX. That's the K dot I need. That's what I need. And also the other thought process of the whole situation too was when Drake did the AI with Tupac, he should have had something like Reincarnated. And I understand that's not the purpose of the whole song, but imagine he has something like that, like with the Tupac beat at the time when the AI dropped, and he just went in how he went on that song. Yo, as far as in my eyes, I mean, everybody's different, but in my eyes, that's how he would have won the beef with Drake, straight up and down. Because that Reincarnated, you flip a couple of words in that, he was going in for the kill. You know what I'm saying? So, not trying to keep you guys on too long. But yeah, I recommend take a listen. Get those numbers up for him. And like I said, I come from a person with that Drake battle. I was Team Drake, if you will, and all that stuff. Always been a fan of Drake, yes. But I want it to be fair and balanced as far as calling this album for what it is. And it's a solid, good album. Like I said, some of the beats, it did feel, it was a reminiscence of Not Like Us. And I just feel, like I said, this is my personal opinion, I feel those type of beats don't work for Kendrick Lamar. Like, I just don't think I feel like he has to dumb himself down to meet those type of beats. where clearly his lyrical prowess is a whole lot better than those simplistic beats. Now, I understand from the marketing point of view, he got to get the views, got to get the money. I get all that. And I'm not coming from that space right now. I'm just saying, like, as far as if that's the route you got to go and all that to get your money, I really feel you got to have somebody that fits your cadence a little better where you can do that marketing and things of that nature. But that's just my personal opinions. I'm not going to keep you guys on too long. I know it's been a little bit since I gave a little content. Real life got in the way, as it usually does. Like I said, the shorts, appreciate all the support. I'm going to work on one or two coming up shortly. But I just want to give you this review. And I hope you go out, listen to the album. I have a couple of topics that I'm getting together as far as research and well formulated for this type of format of video. But I will say that I'm going to do another review. Now, the review that I'm thinking about doing is the Jaleel White, his memoir with the, like, I guess him growing up as Urkel. I think that's the name of the book, but I got to go and read the book first. So that's going to be a little bit, but I just feel because he was doing his media rounds and how he was talking about it, it seems engaging, seems intriguing. So I want to take a look. I want to read up on it and everything else like that and present it to you guys. See, we take it from there. I hope you enjoyed this review. If I missed anything or anything you guys want to point out, please feel free, leave a comment in the comment section. And like I said, I know some of my opinions may not feel like everybody else's, but I'll leave it as an open forum, because my overall goal of this whole video was just to say that it was a good album, and it needs to be heard, and we need to get it out there. Please like, comment, subscribe. Like I said earlier, let's get this train going. Doing a lot of good. Trying to get to 100 subscribers. That's my goal. I know that's not the goal of YouTube and everybody else in the world, but that's my own personal goal, because I just want to kind of get there and keep this train going, keep this train moving. So if you're traveling as you're listening to this, please safe travels to your location. If you're just relaxing and everything else like that, have a good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for your time, and have a good night.